Members of the LGBTQ plus community are waving their rainbow flags high this June in celebration of Pride Month. How much progress has the Philippines made for inclusivity? The first winner of Miss Trans Global, our very own Mela Habijan, shares her views. Mela, congratulations and happy Pride!
Happy Pride, Rico. I like that when you say waving.
We definitely have to wave Pride not only for the month of June, but all year long, right, Mela?
Definitely. I share that sentiment with you because it's very important for us to highlight the roots of Pride and the effects of the movement in our society. Diversity, inclusivity, equality, and equity for all.
But Mela, as Miss Trans Global 2020, it's already been 3 years since you won the global title. How are you uniting the community to spread awareness and celebrate your identities and contributions?
There are 3 facets that I'm looking into. Number 1 is the promotion of parental acceptance of LGBTQIA plus kids, because I'm a product made out of love. I come home to a safe and loving home. That's why it's very important for me to proclaim my story of love so that parents can be accepting to their children. Because if they are, their children will become like me,
yes,
free and loving as well.
The second?
The second is inclusivity in schools. It's very important nowadays that I campaign for hashtag Make PH Schools Inclusive, because this calls for the recognition of the LGBTQIA plus identity. Historically, Filipinos only know of the bakla and the tomboy.
Yes.
But as years went by, we are now being reintroduced, and I will reiterate that, reintroduced to the concepts of transgender identity and non-binary people, because pre-colonial history will always tell us that the Philippines respected and acknowledged transgender people and queer people in our society. There are historical bases on this, the babaylans. We also have in our the mythology, Lakapati, there is a transgender deity that depicts the history and presence of transgender people.
What about the third point, Mela?
The third point is strengthening the Pride movement. I am lucky to be collaborating with LGBTQIA plus advocates in different facets, whether it be the corporate world, the advocates in politics, the advocates in the media, and a lot of industries. And right now, we are planning to hold the second Pride Festival at Quezon City Memorial Circle in partnership with the Quezon City government.
When is this going to happen?
This is going to happen on the 24th of June, and we are expecting 50,000 people gathered to celebrate our identities, more importantly, to rally for inclusion here in the Philippines.
You made 3 very important points there, no, Mela? Parental acceptance, inclusivity, and strengthening the Pride movement. But over the past decades, are we seeing significant strides of these factors being implemented in our society for acceptance and for equal rights?
I can say yes. I can say we have moved. Though it's slow, I consider it as a historical move on our end. Because as I always say, 10 years ago, women like me won't have the spaces in which a person like you, a journalist, will interview me and have this space declaring my pride as a trans woman. But now, we own spaces already. We're slowly being heard by the society. And this is a huge milestone on our end, because as people are listening, we continue to cultivate the essence of inclusivity and understanding, and above all, love for everyone regardless of gender.
But is there already legal protection against abuse and discrimination? Because they're saying that this still eludes the community today.
Sadly, we still don't have a national law. And
the SOGI bill.
The SOGI Equality Bill. And that's what we have been campaigning for the past 23 years. Advocates before us have started rallying this in our Congress and in our Senate.
Yeah.
And 23 years have passed. We are still voicing it out. but the movement will never fade. That's why we continue to gather as a community. What I'm proud of is that there are organizations rallying in their respective cities and municipalities to have their city or municipality-based anti-discrimination ordinances. These ordinances have helped a lot. But we want it to be a national movement so that wherever I'll go, wherever people like me will go, we will be protected by a law that will say we're respected and acknowledged in the community.
But that's also key, right? Passing these ordinances on the municipality level, so at least there's a grassroots support which will eventually grow into a bigger support on the national level. But of course, I mean, it's already June 2023 and Congress hasn't yet enacted this very critical, but of course, as you would also, and everyone will put it, controversial SOGI bill. Mela, what do you think will really push it over the finish line that our lawmakers will approve it and the president will sign it into law?
I think it's important for us to hear the stories, the concrete stories that happen every day. And personally, when I heard these stories of discrimination, it allowed me to build empathy because there are experiences that I did not know of. And it made me aware that they need voices to be heard. Their stories are valuable. If we know of people in our circle that are discriminated and disowned by their parents, if we know of people who are not hired just because they're LGBTQIA+ people, if we know of children who are being bullied by teachers, school administrators, and even their classmates just because they are LGBTQIA+ or different for that matter, and if we know of people who are killed, who are being ridiculed and ostracized every day in public spaces, I think these are necessary information for us to just simply build that kind of empathy that will allow us to see the value of SOGI Equality Bill.
I wanted to ask you about employment. You mentioned the keyword there, hiring of LGBTQ plus community members. In the workplace, is the community given equal opportunity to key jobs?
Nowadays, thank God for PFIP, an organization that has gathered multinational and even local companies. We have already raised awareness on LGBTQIA+ inclusive policies. And we're now seeing leaders from the community rising above the corporate ladder, taking up leadership spaces, and that's a huge thing. In governance, we're seeing Representative Geraldine Roman, who's currently fighting for the passage of SOGI Equality Bill. And more people are, LGBTQIA+ people are encouraged to run in office. I'm now seeing dreamers vying for the barangay captain levels and the barangay kagawad levels. We need them now more than ever because the visibility of these leaders, whether it be politics, governance, or any space that we want to take up in, will allow us to just simply be felt by our society.
The community, I could really feel and see it, is very strong and influential here in the Philippines. But to be able to really put a stamp on it, the SOGI bill really has to be passed.
Amen. It has to be passed, hopefully this year. We are seeing the light. Though it will be difficult because the conversation with regard to the debates about it will always exist.
But do you think that this administration will support it?
They haven't really raised their point of view with regard to the passage of SOGI Equality Bill. But we're praying. Hopefully, the Pride March that will happen in different parts of the Philippines, and I would like to highlight that because there will be Pride Marches across June, and on the 24th, there will be in Quezon City, there will be in Makati, there will be in Baguio, Cagayan de Oro, and in the Visayas region. Hopefully, this will amplify our call to the current administration to finally pass SOGI Equality Bill that will benefit men, women, and LGBTQIA+ people.
Mela, thank you so much for
you.
sharing with us your insights on this Pride Month. Miss Trans Global 2020, Mela Habijan.